There were many projects, yes, that made a difference, but one of those that I know better was a project on mortality crisis in transition economies. This is a very under-researched issue, and this is a very unusual development that happens just once in 1,000 years. There was a decrease in life expectancy and increase in mortality in all transition economies, especially for men, even in rich transition economies like Slovenia or East Germany. And this decrease in life expectancy was caused not by the lack of food and not by the collapse of the infrastructure. It was mostly caused by the stress factors, by the factors associated with, by stress associated with adjustment. The adjustment that was necessary to do during this transition to market economy and democracy. So because of the stress which was given by increased unemployment, as the project argued, by the increased income inequalities, by the increased labor turnover, the movement of people from one industry to another, from one enterprise to another, by increased divorces, and also by increased migration. These are 5 factors that contributed to stress. And it turned out that this stress, increase in stress, explains the cross-country variations in the increases in mortality that we experienced by the economists of Eastern Europe and former Soviet Union. So somehow economists tend to neglect the issue, but the issue is very much researched by the physicians, by doctors, right, and by natural scientists, because this is one of the few times in history when we're having the increase in mortality which is not associated with major natural disasters like the eruption of volcanoes or with the epidemics, with with wars. So basically it's a peacetime increase in mortality which is caused by the stress factors. And in developed countries, the previous experience was that in developed countries, mortality basically declined during economic recession. So if you look at the Great Depression in the United States, there was an increase in life expectancy by 6 years, from something like 57 years to 63 years, just in 4 years. In 1929 to 1932, there was an increase in life expectancy. So developed countries do not pay the price of increased mortality during economic recessions. Economic recessions have different different negative impacts, but it's not in terms of increased mortality. And in transition economies and in developing countries, the research points out that economic shocks actually lead to the decreased life expectancy. This crisis may be compared to the decrease in life expectancy which occurred during the transition from the Paleolithic period to Neolithic period, which was 7,000 years ago. And we have some statistics because we have the skeletons from that time, and we know what was the average life, the average age of a person when those people died. And this is also associated with stress, with the change from gathering and hunting to husbandry and horticulture. And also the other major period of the decline in life expectancy was during British industrialization, or better to say during British enclosure policy. Here the statistics is even better, and in the 18th century, from 1750 to 1820, there was a decline in life expectancy in Britain by several years. Something like from 50 years to 45 years, so from 49 years to 40, 44 years. I think these were the numbers. And this was associated with industrialization, with a change in the life pattern. So the question is how you manage this adjustment, how you manage the structural change, yes, in such a way that it doesn't lead to increased mortality. So I think this was the pioneer project, one of the first projects that that drew attention to these developments, right? That there may be a very negative impact of social changes. If social changes do not proceed in an orderly way, they impact life expectancy because there is so much stress that a person can take.